This is an update video on the DJI drone that hit the Super Scooper fighting the fires out in California, and why I believe the FBI has no chance of finding out who did this unless they ask this one company for help. Let's dive into the video. So if you're not updated on the drone that hit the Super Scooper, let me fill you in. So the drone was identified as a DJI Mini 3, which is a very important fact. You can tell that it's a DJI Mini 3 based on these features here, and the reason that this is an important fact is because of the weight of the drone. The DJI Mini series is known for being under 250 grams. The DJI Mini 3 specifically weighs 249 grams. The reason that this is important is if a drone weighs over 250 grams or is being used for commercial use, it has to be registered. Even if a drone is being used for commercial uses under 250, it still needs to be registered, but the rule is that if you're a hobbyist and you go buy a drone and it's under 250 grams, you don't need to register it with the FAA. This means tracking down who's flying the drone is going to be a very difficult challenge. And I'm no FBI specialist, but getting fingerprints off of a drone, really good fingerprints, especially one that was in the air and being exposed to all the elements and the things that are going on in California, I believe is going to be very difficult for the FBI. So assuming that there are no fingerprints and the drone isn't registered with the FAA, which is my professional opinion, that only leads to one thing. They're going to need the help of DJI. And if you aren't familiar with DJI news right now, the beef between the US government and DJI is real. As of right now, the US government has been trying to ban sales of DJI in the United States because they are apprehensive of what kind of data DJI may or may not be collecting, and DJI completely denies collecting any kind of data that would be harmful to the US government. Now, I personally believe that DJI has the capability of being able to track the serial number and being able to track the sales data to a more specific individual. However, if they're trying to ban the sales of DJI in the country, it's going to be very difficult to get DJI to comply, which is a Chinese-based company. And on top of all this, DJI just pulled a move that I never thought that they would do, and that was they got rid of geofencing. Again, if you're just somebody that watches the news and you're not familiar with all this, geofencing is basically like an invisible barrier in the sky that prevents drones from being able to fly into restricted airspace. This prevents hobbyists and commercial pilots from being able to fly into this airspace unless they're licensed and they get special permissions. However, recently, out of the blue, DJI decided to get rid of this feature completely. I believe that this was a very sneaky and strategic move by DJI for a couple of reasons. I believe that DJI knows that the US government is going to need their help in order to be able to find the person that was flying this drone. Again, if this was a hobbyist that just went and bought this drone at Best Buy and decided to fly and try and take pictures or videos of the fire, they're going to have a very difficult time tracking them down without the FAA information. On top of that, the geofencing wasn't even required by the US government or the FAA, but DJI was doing it just to help promote drone safety. If they're not able to get prints, or even if they get prints and they can't find out who did it and it's not registered with the FAA, they're going to have to ask DJI for help. And if they're going to have to ask DJI for help, they're going to have to bring something to the table. I personally believe DJI knows this and they're playing a very strategic game here with the US government and the FBI. Now, I'm no politician, but I believe that DJI is trying to bargain their way in being able to continue drone sales in the United States, which is a huge, huge market for them. So I personally believe that even with all the information that the government has now, you're either going to see this story die out or they're going to get the help from DJI, and in exchange, DJI is going to get a little bit of leniency when it comes to US sales in the United States. Let me know your opinions and comments in the comment section down below. And if you want to see how I sell real estate photography and drone photography to realtors, check out this video here. And with all that being said, I will see you shareholders in the next video.